bizarre one, Dave. How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm doing good.
All right, so we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We want to appreciate all the hearts, all the follows. We want to thank everybody who joined us on our Tuesday night podcast. That was our most watched podcast ever on Periscope. So we really want to thank everybody who came out and joined us on our podcast. Over 500 viewers. It was pretty amazing. A lot of chit chat going on. So hopefully we'll see that this coming Tuesday again, and hopefully tonight as well. There's a lot of things to touch on. Well, not too much to talk about this week. Just a few things to touch on. There's Impact Wrestling, of course. A lot of Impact Wrestling news. If you haven't heard about Impact Wrestling, touch a little bit on New Japan Pro Wrestling, NXT, and then a WWE tag team asked for their release. Also, there's going to be a title match on SmackDown Live, and that's about it. A quick reminder about Tuesday night's show. So let's touch a little bit on the New Japan Pro Wrestling, since there's not much we can really touch on about it because we didn't really get to see the G1 tournament or the show. Dave doesn't have access on his TV provider, and I just found out that I had Access TV, and I wasn't home all night. So I'm going to have to catch up on that. But I do know Kenny Omega beat Michael Elgin, so he's moving on in the tournament. I'm not sure who he's going to be facing, but I do know that he won, and the match was pretty good. I caught the last, I think, 10 minutes of the match, and the match was pretty good. Cody Rhodes and Okada is currently going on right now in the main event. Cody Rhodes is challenging for Okada's title. I don't think
that's crazy. A couple weeks Cody Rhodes could have, man.
Yeah, I don't think he'll win, but
man, just think about that. He could be the ROH and IWGP champion at the same time.
Yeah,
and he's technically a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, this man has really prospered since leaving the WWE. I think WWE definitely dropped the ball with him and definitely underestimated Cody Rhodes on how good he really is. Please don't tell me that's a.
I think of had the success that Cody Rhodes has had, not saying from WWE, but just in general on the independent circuit. To me, it reminds me of AJ Styles when he first left TNA, went on to New Japan and ROH, doing all. It reminds me of AJ Styles' run he had on the indents.
Right, I mean, Cody Rhodes knows how to wrestle. Yeah, he does know how to wrestle, and WWE, I guess, didn't believe in him. In either if they didn't believe in his promo style or his wrestling or his physique. I don't know. This man has it, and for some reason they didn't believe in him. And he's proven WWE wrong, and hopefully when he hopefully goes back to the WWE, which I think he will, he'll get the proper push and the proper, gimmick or whatever he deserves. So,
hell, why would Cody go back? I mean, look at the stuff going on with him right now. I mean, he's the biggest star on the Indies.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all we can really tell. I know people are saying turn the camera around, put it on. I'm not going to do that, man. I'm not going to sit there and watch it while we're doing a podcast. So it's on Access TV. If you don't have it, I think it's on the Fight Network, I think. Or am I wrong?
I don't think it is.
I thought somewhere Jim Ross tweeted that it was on maybe an app. I could be wrong. I didn't. Like he said before we came onto the show, that he's surprised that this type of a show is for free. It's a 4-hour show. It started at 7.
I know. It surprises me too.
Yeah, and it's ending at 11 o'clock here. So that's pretty crazy that a show like that and that magnitude is on Fight app. It's on the Fight app. There you go, Dave. It's on the Fight app.
So the FIT Fight app or the Fight Network thing? FIT probably Fight.
Yeah, it's the FIT.
I'm gonna check that out. Hopefully they have a replay on it. I'm gonna check that out then. Yeah.
I know Billy Gunn wrestled the Intercontinental Champion. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, it's like the Intercontinental title, not the Intercontinental title, but the Intercontinent, like the continent. Like, yeah.
So, props to the New Japan Pro Wrestling. Hopefully this actually does well. I don't see them ever coming to like Texas or anything, but definitely I can see them hitting up East Coast, West Coast type of cities. Like,
I heard that Billy Gunn said, "Suck my dick" on live TV.
Well, Josh Barnett also said "holy shit" on TV during the match. So I don't know if it's just they don't give a shit or.
I mean, do you see? Well, you remember South Park back in the day when they said like what was it, fuck or shit like 100 and something times in an episode. So
yeah. So I guess maybe they have somewhat. They have a little bit of.
it's a cable network. It's not like it's broadcast TV like on one of these major broadcast ABC, NBC, or Fox or CBS type thing. It's a cable
Correct.
channel that hardly anyone gets. So
yeah, very true. Very true. Again, this is Get the Tables podcast. We are live every Tuesday night after SmackDown Live with our WWE Raw and SmackDown Live reviews. We also touch a little bit more on WWE's product and stuff like that. We want to thank the total of 67 viewers so far. This Saturday night podcast is kind of new to us. We started off with Impact only, TNA Impact, and then we moved on to talking about other wrestling companies because I figured not everybody just wants to hear us talk about WWE all the time. And it seems to be working, so we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We're going to touch a little bit on NXT. There's a little bit to touch on NXT because we don't really touch on it on Tuesday night. But on NXT, we had an awesome match between Asuka and Nikki Cross. So if anybody has not seen that match, I highly suggest you go check your latest NXT episode. Fast forward to that match. You need to see that match.
That thing with Otami, though, was pretty badass.
Oh, yes. I'm not saying not to watch the episode, but if you just want to see this match, it's the main event. It's awesome. I'm not going to spoil it for you just in case you haven't seen it. I think that you know the obvious winner. But it was an awesome, very, very awesome match between two women who are going to be killing it on the main roster very soon. Also, we had an NXT debut, not on TV. It was on a live event, and it was Gunner. Gunner finally made his debut on NXT. I'm not sure if his name is still Gunner on NXT, but he finally debuted on a live event. So that's good. I always thought this guy would eventually be on NXT, and I'm glad he finally made it. I'm not sure what they're going to do with him when he finally makes it up there, but any thoughts on this, Dave?
Until he's on TV, I hope he is. Just like the same with, until we know official and that these guys are signed official. I know he's signed because you can wrestle for him, but that doesn't really mean too much either because we've seen other people come in and wrestle for him and they're not technically signed contracts. So
hey, what's up, Napter?
What?
Napter, the Apter's in the house. What's up, Apter?
Yeah, I was just saying, until I know officially these guys are on, which is cool. I'm glad he's there if he's there. I want to see these guys involved in actual NXT stuff. So I hope they both are there and they're both wrestling, and because they could really add. I know a lot of people say NXT is down, but to me right now, the crop of talent in NXT is unbelievable, especially the indie stars, the former TNA stars, the former ROH stars who are there. To me, it seems like NXT is like have a lot of star power in NXT like it's never had before right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our next NXT TakeOver podcast because we really don't touch too much on NXT and on our show, and I'm curious to see a lot of these our fans' opinions on what people think about NXT because, like you said, a lot of people do think NXT is a little bit of a down product right now. So I'm curious to see when we have our next TakeOver event, which will be I think next month, right? Or is it this month?
I think it's still. No, I think
I'm sorry. That was last month. I'm sorry.
I believe.
Yeah, that'll be. It's all about the Velveteen Dream. That's funny.
That elbow drop was terrible. Oh my god, that was.
Hey, props to him for
Yeah, but I mean,
and I see a lot of people hate they're playing up to the gay community and blah blah blah. I mean, did they not remember Goldust? I mean, Goldust did a lot worse than what we're seeing from this guy.
Yeah,
he's just a flamboyant character. I mean, give me
of what they did with Orlando Jordan in TNA. You remember that whole character? That kind of metrosexual or however they want to put it, metrosexuals or whatever it is. I mean, he can wrestle, and he's really good in the ring. I mean, he really gets some airtime when he jumps from the top rope and tries to. That elbow drop, though, he did was just terrible. But, I mean, they're doing something next week with Hideo and Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, whatever you want to call him. They're teaming up against Sanity next week.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
And I did.
Especially. Go ahead.
a predicted card that it's possible a card for NXT Takeover in Brooklyn, and the title match would be Rude versus Drew McIntyre. The tag titles would be AOP versus Sanity. We would have Hideo Itami. I'm sorry.
I was saying because they did say Heavy Machinery versus Authors of Pain in a couple weeks, I believe, on NXT.
Yeah, so it'd be the Sanity versus AOP, Hideo Itami versus Cassius Ohno, Cien versus oh gosh, is it No Way Jose maybe?
I assume they're gonna use Thea Trinidad at some capacity of that role because the way they've been doing her. So I would assume maybe they're trying to help.
Yeah, so I mean, NXT Takeover is, I mean, this year's could be one
there. I mean, geez, all these big stars. This is like it's like ROH, honestly, right now. NXT is like ROH from like 2000-ish, somewhere early 2000. Because half the stars there were in Ring of Honor. And I mean, we have Mauro Ranallo doing it now. So he did his first NXT episode, which I thought was really good. It was kind of cool to hear him again.
Yeah, Ranallo's back. That's the good. He sounds good. Then we'll have Asuka probably versus Ember Moon and NXT Brooklyn. So it's going to be interesting to see if they finally have Asuka lose or not. So we shall see then. Also, WWE Tag Team asked for the release, and that Mauro was terrible. What really?
A fan.
That's Texas
Life. Mauro from New Japan. I didn't know it was him until I heard his voice. I'm like, holy crap! I know that guy. Yeah, he used to do all the New Japan stuff. So yeah.
The Primos or the Epicos or whatever the hell their names. The Colones. Yes, I'm sorry, the Colones. They are asking for the release. It looks like probably not happy with what they are given right now on the WWE. Don't blame them. So look for them to be released or gone in the next few weeks. So any thoughts on that, Dave?
Yeah, we purposely talked about this yesterday, and we said, let's not talk about, me and Tony go back and forth a lot on Messenger, and we go back and forth talking about a lot of this wrestling stuff. So we decided to wait and save what we thought about this till right now. So my opinion on this, I'm happy for him because look at Cody Rhodes right now. Look at all these other teams on the independent circuit. It's a perfect, I think, match to look at this because, I mean, these guys could go back to Puerto Rico where their dad, Carlos Colon, used to be Carlito, is running his dad's promotion right now down in Puerto Rico. And they would go down there and be big stars down there.
Retweet on Twitter. Thank you.
I think they'd be big stars down in Puerto Rico or anywhere on the independent scene because they're not getting no kind of breaks in the WWE. So why not go on the independents, go to your home, go home and make good money and probably be bigger stars than what you're being used right now. I think it's a great idea. Even though I hate CMs, I do enjoy them, but I think their characters in WWE are really flat. And I think they would do great on the independent scene.
Yes, I agree. They aren't being used at all in the WWE, so why not ask for a release and go elsewhere? I think they have a good shot probably with TNA, now Global Force. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them there in the next couple of months or so. But yeah, good for them for actually manning up and not being happy. And going out and saying, I want to be happy and leaving a situation that a lot of people are scared to leave the WWE and go out in those different type of waters. But hey, they know that in Puerto Rico they're huge. That their father or whatever has his own wrestling company there, so they can go out and fall back on that if they need to, or go to these independent companies and do shows, or even like I said, maybe go to Global Force Wrestling. So
the second generation stars are doing good right now. Look at Cody. I mean, heck, even D.H. Smith, formerly Harry Smith, he legally changed his name to D.H. Smith, I believe.
Yes.
Davey Smith or whatever. But I mean, he's doing pretty good over there in Japan as well. So I mean, WWE isn't the
it's not
only thing people can become
It
big
is.
stars.
The WWE is the major leagues, but it's not the only thing that you can do as a wrestler. So we'll see if the rumors come true and they actually do ask for the release and they're actually gone. But so look forward to seeing or look out for that in the next couple of weeks.
I think that bullfighting gimmick just killed them completely. I really do.
Oh yeah, definitely. It killed them bad. Also next week on SmackDown Live, Lana will get her rematch again versus Naomi. Apparently, I didn't see this, but apparently,
I didn't either.
Lana's shoulder was moved, or she kicked out before the 3 count on Tuesday night. I don't remember seeing this. I don't recall it. I hadn't checked it or anything. So Lana's gonna get her rematch Tuesday night on the 4th of July special on SmackDown Live. My question to you, Dave, before we move on, is do we see a cash in on Tuesday night?
I mean, maybe that's probably the main reason they're doing it right there. I mean, really, and I'm actually glad they're doing it in a way because I hope they actually because they were so crammed for time last week. So maybe that's why the match seemed like a jobber match almost. I think they killed Lana's credibility from the pay-per-view because she looked really good in that pay-per-view match. And compared to that. So I think, yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, it's possible. Yes, I guess they could.
Maybe a cash in. Maybe we see Lana come out and Carmella come out and help Lana win, as in, tease the cash in and Lana takes advantage of it and beats Naomi.
You could see. I don't think she'll beat her, but I could see it being like, if it's not the main event, it'll be pretty darn close, and it'll probably be a really good match, I would think, and it'd probably go 15, maybe 20, hopefully 15, 20, a long match, and then you can see Carmella come out and cash in right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very true. Women's singles match for the championship. Someone just spoiled it. Damn, Cody just lost. So there you go. Cody Rhodes lost. Against Okada. So there you go. John Cena also will be on the 4th of July special. Not really
sure. Predictions on what he'll do?
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. He teased a little bit. I saw on Twitter someone talking about Roman Reigns, and he said something along the lines that he thinks that this is his yard. I got something, an answer for that or some shit like that.
Reigns already said that unless they're gonna make it a triple threat match for the title at WrestleMania or at SummerSlam, which is a possibility. So you would get a chance of either having, if they do it that way, you'd get a chance of either having Cena or Reigns or Brock as your champion. I think everyone would want Brock compared to those two. If that went down like that. Why would he come out on SmackDown and say, I'm challenging for the Universal title? Why would he say that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
He probably does the same thing that Roman did on Raw. He'll say, I'm going to be challenging the winner of Randy Orton. And,
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down, got the promo. Maybe it's same along the lines that I'm a free agent. You don't know, every week you don't know what show I'm on, blah 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 blah, and then maybe we finally see the return of Rusev, and we see Rusev versus John Cena.
Again, though, I mean, we count that.
I mean, it all makes sense. You have Rusev come down. This is stupid holiday, stupid American. You know how he is.
It would be good for that, yes, but I just don't agree with it for another John Cena and Rusev rivalry for 3 months, and then.
Oh no, not for 3 months, but no, just for a match for that night, because it's 4th of July, and you know how Rusev is against America. And
if they're gonna bring Rusev back, I would want him to be winning and not bring him back to lose.
But I could totally see. I mean, if it was say if Jinder wasn't champ, I could see Jinder Mahal doing that kind of a gimmick where he comes out and blah blah blah. But
I would rather see John Cena say, "I'm going to be challenging the winner of Orton and Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam." I think that happens, and if that does happen, I think Randy Orton wins at Battleground easily.
Oh wow!
No doubt. Not easily, he's going to win, but I just think it's easy because they're going to set up Orton and John Cena for the title at SummerSlam. That would be their other big match. If that happens, if he challenges for that. Or who knows, Owens might just pop out or come out or something like that.
Cena versus Randy Orton again at SummerSlam.
I'm just saying that's probably they would probably want to go the safe bet to have a big main event match like Raw is doing.
Ugh, I don't know if I like that very much.
Not really either, but I mean, it seems like they would probably go that route. It just does to me. Like, hey, let's do Cena and Orton again. They haven't seen it on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're kind of doing the whole Miz Ambrose thing over and over and over.
For the 1 millionth time, right? Oh, wow. We have 26 viewers and 24 viewers are so far. Thank you. Live viewers right now. Thank you, everybody, for coming in here. Again, this is Get the Tables podcast. I know I've said that already, but we are live every Tuesday night, 10:30 Eastern.
Okay, so what do you think John Cena, if that's not John Cena's SummerSlam plans, then who do you think John Cena, and to me, that's the only reason he'd come out is really to announce SummerSlam, his opponent for SummerSlam.
I think he's coming out to explain this whole free agent matter, this whole mix. And I don't think he's able to actually challenge Cena versus Jinder at SummerSlam. I could see happening. I could see that happening as well.
To me, that I would rather see Orton and Cena than Jinder and Cena.
Why can't they do Jinder versus Cena? That's what the question. That's what someone put in the chat room. Actually, it's not me. Actually, it's actually. I think. I don't know. I don't think they can't do Jinder versus Cena.
I think it'd be terrible because it would be so obvious Cena's gonna win. At least if it's Orton, it's not so obvious because Orton could maybe win. You know, something like that. Like I could see Cena winning the title at SummerSlam from either Jinder or Orton, and then Corbin cashes in.
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen.
And then you set up Cena and Corbin rivalry going forward.
Well, then you would have to. Jinder will have to get his rematch somewhere down the line,
or whoever the champion is. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. I think he would. Yeah, they'd probably set it up like some kind of triple threat match or something like that. But wouldn't? Okay, I don't think he would though. Would he? He should, but technically, if John Cena beat Jinder for the title at SummerSlam, and then Corbin cashed in on Cena. I mean, would he still be given a rematch even though he lost to Cena? And Cena would be the next in line to get a rematch, you would think.
You're early to have Cena bury Jinder. Why can't Jinder get over Corbin, cashes in on him? The strategy might be for him to face Jinder so that people would cheer for him to win 17.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
Yeah, that's the only way he'll get. The only way.
To me, that's too obvious to have Cena and Jinder because no one's gonna think this. All of a sudden, this guy came out of nowhere and he's gonna beat John Cena at SummerSlam. Big match, John. I don't think he is.
All right. If John Cena's not facing Jinder.
Yeah, if he faces Jinder, it's obviously Cena's winning the title.
Who would John Cena face at SummerSlam if it's not Jinder Mahal?
I think it would have to be Orton. It's not going to be AJ again because they're both good guys now.
Could it be Kevin Owens?
Nakamura is a possibility, I guess, if they want to go there. It seems like they're setting up Nakamura and Corbin at the moment. So, yeah, I mean.
Well, that's probably going to happen at.
We didn't think about. What if. Because people, when new superstars like to make their big mark on John Cena, and who perfect than Mike Kanellis would be more perfect than that to come out on Cena's promo.
Remember, Road Dogg is running SmackDown, not Vince. They do things differently. That's true.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it seems like that would be the route they'd want to go for a big matches at SummerSlam.
Special was good. Yes, the G1 special was good. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Don't ruin it for a lot of people because a lot of people in here haven't seen it. So we know the gist of it, but don't ruin it for a lot of people. We already touched on New Japan Pro Wrestling. So if you're in here to touch on New Japan, we already touched on it. We're kind of going over WWE next. We're going to touch on Impact Wrestling, how TNA is officially dead. Rest in peace, TNA.
I would love to know how you and other people feel in the chat about how would they feel if we had Mike Kanellis and John Cena rivalry set up on 4th of July?
You know, I honestly think John Cena is going to come out there and he's going to get interrupted. Someone's going to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would it be perfect for like a spot? People would think like Rusev or some anti-American would come out. Why not have like Mike Bennett or Mike Kanellis come out and
more than likely Mike Kanellis will lose, and nobody wants to see that.
He would get a rub from the biggest star in the WWE. He would get a match with John Cena. That would be even huge for him.
I mean, it could happen.
I think it would be a huge spot for Mike Kanellis to be, or whatever you want to call him, to be in, facing John Cena.
Pretty huge for him, right, coming in there feuding with John Cena, definitely. But I guess we'll just have to find out Tuesday night, which we will see SmackDown Live on 4th of July night. And yes, we will be live on Tuesday night on 4th of July night. We will be live after SmackDown Live. On that, so let's move.
There's been some big SmackDowns on the 4th of July. I mean, one match I remember really clearly is Kurt Angle Undertaker for the Undisputed title on the 4th of July.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be an episode to be worth watching if you can live, or if not recorded if you can. Thank you for all the hearts. The more hearts gets us the more people in here and more people for you guys to chit chat with. We would like to hit 500,000 hearts by Royal Rumble. I know that's kind of hard to maybe fathom, but you never know. We're almost at 200,000, which is pretty cool. And maybe we can hit that in the next couple of months. But by January, we would like to be at 500,000 hearts.
Tap those hearts.
Yeah, so just tap those hearts whenever you get bored just watching. Or if you want to just punch me in the face or you don't like what I'm saying, you can tap me in the face and just hit the shit out of it if you like. So let's move on to TNA, because TNA is officially dead. It's officially gone. Not the company, but the name is officially gone. Jeff Jarrett and
well, let's go back a little.
Edward, what's his name?
Before we get into this, and we heard rumors like a week or so ago that Anthem, who owns Impact TNA right now, who bought TNA from Dixie, they bought Global Force Wrestling. They merged with the Anthem people, merged with Impact, and Global merged together. So then we get the announcement yesterday, because here's another thing we didn't want to talk about on Messenger. We wanted to get it right here for you guys to hear our first reactions, what we think about it, really, without saying anything to each other. So this is all off the top of our heads, nothing pre-talked about or nothing. We're just going straight with it. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we've talked about similar stuff like this before, and I almost feel like this is a bad move, because I think even though how shitty TNA's name is, yes, they needed a new name. I get that. I just don't think Global Force was the right name to go with, because that if there's anything more shitty than TNA's name alone, it's Global Force, because it never did anything. It couldn't even get a TV deal. I mean, this stuff is just terrible. I think at least TNA's name alone was bigger than Global Force. I mean, Global Force. I mean, yeah, I get it. They want a new name. I get it, fresh start type thing. But that name, they should have just made up something new, I think, instead of trying to make this thing something.
Well, apparently they're going to keep the same name. Like on TV, you'll see the same name on website Impact Wrestling, but the name they are officially changing to Global Force. I think it's good for them because.
Oh, do you like the name? Okay, see, I'm not a big fan of the name Global Force.
I don't care for the name though, but I mean, I think it was time for a change of scene. Like it's time to start over. I think a lot of people, when you affiliate Impact, when someone says Impact Wrestling, I think if you are a wrestling fan, you Carter and all the shitty things that they've done and shitty things like not paying people and stuff like that. I think the Global Force is a fresh start. Like I told y'all from the beginning, I told you when this happened, that they might as well just call it Global Force. I remember saying that.
That's what they're doing basically now. It seems like these the titles matches they're having tomorrow night are going to be for like unification matches. So it makes sense now, because I talked about a few weeks ago about Impact when they had Del Rio defending the Global Force title in the main event against freaking Chris Masters, and I thought, why would the Global Force title be the main event of a company that is no longer existing, pretty much?
Yeah, and that's why.
And it's obvious to me Del Rio's probably going to beat Lashley.
And I was saying, like, a lot of the wrestlers now on Impact or Global Force, if you want to say, are guys from Global Force. Like a lot of these people that Jared are bringing in, and apparently he's bringing a lot of surprises tomorrow night. So,
I heard there's possible rumblings of a partnership with Lucha Underground, where they're going to start using Lucha guys as well from Lucha Underground.
Which I think that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. I mean, that could definitely benefit them in the ratings.
Well, I wonder, does that mean they're going to change? Is the whole ring going to look different this coming Thursday or even tomorrow night, where it's going to be a bunch of GFW stuff all over the ring and all that now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I guess we'll have to see and find out tomorrow night. They'll touch a little. Is there anything? Because I'm not really sure a lot of the matches on Slammiversary. Like I said,
I don't know. I know this is to be. I heard something. There's going to be some Japanese stars there, I believe, as well. Japan stars. Because I seen something online where there was a picture that in Florida that Nakamura took pictures with some guys from Impact Wrestling because they're doing their fan interaction this weekend. But today, and there was a picture with
Drago will be there. That he was going to be there. I think in a tag match, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Drago.
Oh yeah.
I think he's.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like, who is it? Drago and Phoenix, I believe, in a tag match.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat. I mean, at least Jeff Jarrett's trying. I mean, I don't 100% agree with what he's doing with the Hardys, and hopefully that stuff will end very soon. But
where he put out stuff for stuff about intellectual properties and stuff like that, how he knows about all that, and how you have to know what you own and all that. And they're saying that what is created in there it's owned by them. So I mean. And just like people talk about the Bully Ray gimmick, like, was he allowed to still use the Bully Ray gimmick outside of TNA? And I think it was Meltzer who replied to a fan about it and said yes, because before Bubba used Bully Ray, he made sure he owned the Bully Ray name because he got screwed over when he left the WWE. He couldn't use Bubba Ray no more. So he had to come up with Bully Ray, and he made sure he owned all the rights to Bully Ray.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, that's a little thing to touch on that. So I know it's Del Rio versus Lashley for the title. I know we have EC3 versus Storm in a strap match.
D'Angelo Williams and Moose.
D'Angelo Williams, the former running back of the Carolina Panthers and Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, he'll be in a tag match.
Oh, he was just on my fantasy team last year.
I mean, to me, like, you were telling me Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania. It seems like this is their WrestleMania to me.
It does seem like it really does. Yeah, you're right. It does seem like their WrestleMania. It really does. I agree because Slammiversary was one of their first pay-per-views I think they did, but they started naming Bound for Glory as like their WrestleMania of the year for a long time. But this is being built up like it's.
Is Moose putting his title on the line? I don't think so. Is Moose putting his title on the line? I don't believe he is.
Tag
match.
And then that's a title anyway.
Yeah, I saw him say like that. I think this title is the most prestigious title in TNA, and then he says like I go around the world defending it. But I was like, how did they do that? Because you have to judge it, don't you? The judge. Slammiversary is their SummerSlam.
Is this like a? Yeah, that's what I've said before, and I think it is really like their SummerSlam because Bound for Glory is built as their big show. So are they going to change all the pay-per-views too then, or are they just going to keep everything how it is? That's another interesting thing. See going forward what happens because these are all TNA pay-per-views that you're still using technically. Mm-hmm. And just celebrating 15 years, well, if you're rebranding the company to something else, you're starting over at zero. There's nothing. This is a new beginning. So, I mean, it's not 15 years anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, why not just sell the library to WWE like they wanted before?
I'm sure eventually that'll happen. But, yep, that's pretty much it from Global Force, I should say now. So if you're checking out Impact Wrestling, don't feel free to tweet us on the Get the Tables podcast Twitter account. If Texas Kid can put that in there. And let us know what you thought of the pay-per-view or what was your favorite match. We would love to know. Let's see, what else?
Like I just spent $40 on that freaking Friday 13th game, and I was not about to spend $45 on that freaking TNA pay-per-view.
Right. That's our Twitter account. Please follow us there. Get us to the lucky 250 followers on Twitter. That'd be great. If you joined us tonight, if you
have access,
please
TV
follow us.
Tomorrow night, if you have Access TV tomorrow night, why would you pay for a pay-per-view from TNA when you could watch New Japan Pro Wrestling's Tournament Continues tomorrow night, I believe, and for free?
I think so.
So why would you order a pay-per-view when you could watch a New Japan show for free?
Yeah, and a show that's rarely live.
Yeah, never live. This is the first ever they've ever been live, like at least over here. And this is for the U.S. Heavyweight Title Tournament.
Yeah, so definitely check out that. Check out TNA if you can. If you have the money to check it out, let us know what you thought of it on the Twitter account. Thank you for all the hearts tonight. If this is your first time joining us, please hit the follow button. The more of the follows, the better. We'd really appreciate that. Trying to get to 300 followers. We're almost there. The hearts are great as well, and we appreciate all the people throwing out them hearts. I think that's it. We'll be live Tuesday night, and I will be 4th of July. So everybody have a safe 4th of July before you come and join us. So hopefully y'all can join us after you all pop your fireworks and have some barbecue. Anything else, Dave, you want to touch on before we end tonight's podcast?
I think that's pretty much. I think we covered everything that's going on. I can't think of anything else that's really going on that's newsworthy.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so we'll be live Tuesday night about the same time, 10:30 Eastern. Touch on SmackDown Live and Raw. SmackDown Live is going to be a pretty huge show. Is Brock on Raw this Monday night? Not sure.
I'm not sure either. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think so because he's on there last week.
Yeah, they haven't really announced anything for Raw. So
because this week is the go home show to the pay-per-view, so you would think he would be. So maybe.
Oh, yeah, so next Tuesday night will be Great Balls of Fire review show. So it'll be mostly
SmackDown because of the whole Cena situation too.
Yeah, we probably won't touch much on Raw. We'll probably just touch on SmackDown Live and the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. So hopefully everybody can join us Tuesday night. We want to thank the total of 226 viewers tonight. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We'll be back next Saturday night as well, hopefully not so late, and touch on anything else wrestling related, kind of touch on Slammiversary, any debuts or surprises that go on there, and then anything else wrestling related as well. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Thank you, everybody. Oh.